Welcome to Lounging with Laurie. This is the pep talk you didn't know you needed. Here I share bold truths, personal stories, not just mine, of course, but from some incredible guests as well. This is our nudge to keep moving ourselves towards the life we actually want. So stick around and join me on the journey. We're actually aiming for the 5% club, whether we talk about it or not. There's this idea floating around that to be successful, your mornings have a vision board. Waking up before sunrise, journaling, having that green smoothie or your lemon water, doing your gym session, and doing your deep work or your power hour all before 9 a.m. That is not my reality. And for most of the women I work with, it's not theirs either. This episode was inspired by a few recent conversations that I've had in my mentoring calls, but also inspired by myself and my own kind of realization, really through conversation. A couple of women shared how defeated they were feeling because they're not sticking to their routine, or they're losing momentum because they've had a busy week. Yes, that's because you're human. And I've most certainly been in this exact space as well. I personally think there are seasons where your routine just flows. And then there are other seasons where life just takes over. I wanted to speak to this because it really has come up a lot lately. The pressure of trying to do everything right. And then there's the guilt when you miss that one step or you don't get something done. There's this myth that if you're not perfect, that maybe you're not, one, successful, or two, you're not even progressing. So today I want to reframe perfection for you and for me, actually. So in this episode, I will cover why I don't really follow a rigid routine anymore, what I focus on instead, and also I think this has helped my mentees as well. I'm going to reframe something here that may take the pressure off and keep your momentum going. And also why asking for help is one of the smartest things that you can do. Perfect routines, in my opinion, are a luxury. They're not the standard, and that's what we need to change. We see it online all the time. People glorifying their 5 a.m. starts and their 12-step morning routine, which actually makes me chuckle because it's not really reality. Thank you to the power of social media. Smoke and mirrors is all I will say. And I've tried them all because I personally love me some structure. I love a good plan, but I've had enough life at this point to know routines don't always survive the reality of what's going on right now. There are weeks where I'm working late, perhaps I'm grieving something, perhaps I'm supporting someone else or traveling or just feeling a little bit off. And previously I used to, get down a little bit about that, about not hitting what I believed was my potential, until I realized that chasing perfection was actually making me less productive and probably getting me closer to that burnt out feeling or that feeling of overwhelm, like constantly just surviving. Now, sometimes I journal, sometimes I walk Lulu, sometimes I just roll out of bed and get straight into my day. And in fact, due to the time zones, I'm often hitting the ground running first thing in the morning. I am a morning person, so that's a good thing. But it's not always a pretty sight, let me assure you. And it's not always very well structured. It's generally a little bit quite chaotic, actually. However, for me, progress is still happening. I can wake up some days with a bunch of text messages and emails from everyone back in Australia, just needing that little piece of me, needing me to take action on something, answer something. And it is what it is. So my day just starts maybe not how I've planned it. it just starts, right? And I'm also one of those people that I don't like to put something off that I can address right now. So even though I may have allotted some time later in the day, because I do like to schedule certain things into my calendar, and I may have done that, but if someone needs me to answer something and I've just read that message, I'm going to action that right there and then. I don't want to put it off till later. And also, people are asking me, they might actually need the answer now, not when it's really, really convenient for me. And I like to be there for my people, and that's just one of my values. And so that's why I do it that way. The great thing in this world is that you have choice. You get to adjust your structure, your daily structure, your daily routine based on whatever season of life you're in right now. And let me be clear, that's not an excuse to drop your standards, but it's a strategy to stay in motion. And so ask yourself, is this helping me? Or is this just a checklist that no longer fits into my current lifestyle? Or am I just creating excuses not to get things done? And this is where I talk a lot about the season that I'm in, which is all about intentional living, setting boundaries, creating a routine that works for me. You know, I think it was a year ago, maybe two, we created this morning routine mastery. And I believe it's 14 days or so, and it's free. And if you want that, please let us know and you can have it. And it's about each day you're trying a new habit. But it's not about getting all 14 days worth of habits into your morning routine. Like the Miracle Morning book, if you've read that, you know, there's a list of things that you try to get done. It's about trying different things that kind of ground you first thing in the morning, or pep you up first thing in the morning, or get your blood going and, you know, getting you raring to go. A morning routine can be as simple as getting out of bed and actually just getting your teeth brushed, depending where you're at. It might be getting out of bed and, you know, taking the dog for a walk, making your coffee, and then if you're lucky or you like to, go journal or whatever. But it's not for everybody. And I just want to make that clear. You create that and you have the choice. So ask yourself, is this helping me? Or is this just a checklist that no longer fits? Or am I creating excuses not to get things done? I'm just reiterating that because your results reflect your effort. And this is the blunt bit just here in true Loza form. If you're working on your goal or your business, maybe one day per week or a few hours per week, that's fabulous, firstly. But understand that that's the pace that you're going to grow. And that's okay. If you're working on it 5 days a week and with good focus and clarity, you're obviously going to get the results faster. And that's not judgment, that's just maths. So be honest with yourself. What are you willing to give right now to get where you want to go? And are you okay with the outcome of that? I can tell you I've worked really, really long hours, long days, thinking I'm working on my business when really probably like many people, that time isn't really that productive. What happens is I don't necessarily have a clear plan. I haven't allocated specific things to just do one thing because I'm a bit of a squirrel and I get sidetracked, but all these new things that keep coming in my inbox, you know, the old shiny object syndrome. Yep, that's me, a little bit like that sometimes. Hence why my phone is always on do not disturb for about 8 hours of the day minimum. Because if I don't have a clear plan for me personally, and also if I don't have accountability, then I get lost in my own space and with the noise that's going on right now. And I end up going round and round in circles. And then the output is almost non-existent. Really, based on the time I've spent sitting at my laptop, I should be, you know, getting some good achievements, but I'm just not. And that's why for me, I have my own mentor. So I tell you to get a mentor, but it's because I thrive when I have my mentor. I always get excited when I have our conversations. I get clarity on what I need to get done either that week or next week. Mind you, she doesn't let me get away with moving things a week. She's like, get it done today, which I love, a bit of pressure. And I always have a boost in momentum and output when I have got a mentor that's pushing me. And that gives me that reward, I suppose, of moving further faster, which I like, right? And if I'm not being productive, obviously the reward is maybe progress, but not getting to the destination as fast as maybe I would like to. When I have momentum and clarity, my time and work is way more efficient too. So really, I'm getting better bang for my buck. I like regular check-ins with my mentor for that accountability reason. She keeps me on track and she challenges me. And that for me equals personal growth, which is one of my personal values. Now, here's my tip. I don't do this alone, and I really suggest you don't either. One thing I've started to get better at is saying, hey, could you please help me with this? Now, whether that's something that's outside my zone of genius or just a moment where I'm feeling just a little bit too stretched, I do ask for help. And I think I'm definitely getting better at that these days than what I was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Now, that might be just asking Lauren. It could be hiring a VA, reaching out to a friend, a business mentor, or even a business partner, because I think support makes you stronger. You know, I have that little slogan that we have all over the Sisterhood, which is together we're stronger, right? And you know, I always say surround yourself with people who want to see you win. I think we can all get ourselves close to that burnout space. I can get there so fast when I am overcommitted. But many times at the moment, I reach out to Lauren or my mum, and they've jumped in so many times to help me do all the things. Lauren is always helping me creatively, not just on the Sisterhood, but on some of these other businesses that I do. I always do the old phone a friend, and she's always there to help me, which is fantastic because she's ridiculously creative and I'm definitely not. And then my mum is amazing because she's often my sounding board. So whenever I'm cranky or I'm stressed out, I give her a call. I kind of tell her straight away, by the way, I'm stressed out. So she knows the pace and the mood of what the conversation's going to be. And she's my sounding board to work through all my problems. And then other times I might jump on a meal plan where, you know, I've got my meals being delivered just to save some time, or I get a cleaner in or something like that. And you know all the tricks and tips and things that you can do to save time. And that time where I'm having a little bit of help is time I can now allocate to work on my business, or maybe even work on a little bit of self-care, which I think is super important. I also know myself that a quick overnight trip for me, or a day off having fun with friends, is a really great reset for me. So I make sure that I have them booked in my calendar regularly, right? They have to be on my schedule. So I guess the point is, you don't need a perfect week to make progress. You need clarity, sure. You need consistency in your own way, right? Your own version. And you also need the courage to ask for help when you need it. I still plan my life on Sunday nights for the upcoming week. If I run out of time, or maybe I'm having some fun or I'm away, then I do it first thing in the morning. It's one of the first things that I do so that I have a little bit of structure, because again, I like structure. And that also allows me to make sure I accomplish at least one thing. And that's all I challenge myself to. I do a thing called the power of 3. So I like to achieve 3 things, to be fair, but I make sure I write them down. And, you know, all the books tell you to do the hard thing first. There's that book, Eat That Frog, which, you know, it's a great book, by the way, great read. And it's, you could read it over and over again. It's always helpful. And it tells you to do the hardest problem first and all that jazz. But again, that might not work for you, and that is okay. But at least I get the satisfaction of achieving something. And then I get to tick it off or cross it out or throw that piece of paper and the to-do list out, which I quite like as well. And that, for me, that's my momentum. So you can have big goals and still give yourself some grace. You can go slow and still be moving. Just don't lie to yourself, though, about where you are right now and what it will take to get you where you want to go. I always think that if it's important enough, you will make the time. You'll put it in your calendar. You'll say no to the event so that you can get it done. But make sure you schedule it and make sure you have clarity. But most importantly, please don't wait for the perfect moment. Start with what you have right now. That is my pep talk for today. So I'm going to roll straight into my cut it, keep it, claim it. So my cut it for this week is the belief that I have to be perfect to be productive. My keep it is my weekly planning time. That is 100% what keeps me grounded. My claim it is thinking about a version of success that fits my lifestyle, not someone else's. And so now it's your turn. What are you ready to cut? What are you ready to keep? And what are you going to claim? I hope you share that with me in the lounge room. For now, big dreams, small steps. Let's start moving. Keep showing up, keep backing yourself, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you for joining us on the Sisterhood Collective podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. And if you want to be the first to hear what is new at Sisterhood Collective, you can find out more on our Instagram, or you can sign up to receive our weekly newsletter and let the good times continue to roll. Now it's time to turn your clear vision into bold action. I'm Laurie Drummond, your host, and until next time, keep striving to live that best life. Take care, and we'll see you soon.